Hello everyone, in this video I want to share with you some interesting tricks and traps that you can play in the London system. And also, as I uploaded the video about the Queen's Gambit, saying it's the best opening for white, this is not the best in my opinion, but it's actually my favourite opening. So d4, d5, the Queen's pawn opening, so as you can see, developing the bishop early on in the game, and preparing it to move to this f4 square. So this is the London system when the bishop to f4 occurs. So the point is the bishop attacks this square and the bishop is developed from an early position in the game. So it's got a strong position along this dark square diagonal. So the unique part of the London system is you should develop a pawn chain like so with the c3 and e6 moves, and this should be a strong formation as it creates a pawn chain alongside this bishop and pawn. So black usually responds with knight to f6, which defends this pawn and attacks these white squares here. And we play e3, which creates the shape of the London system, defending this f4 bishop. And e6. So, as you can see here, e6 is actually a very important move throughout the London system. So the point is, as you can see, this light square bishop will not be developed from black, as this pawn will cut it off. So simply, the bishop will not be able to move to this square here, so it allows the knight to develop easily to this f3 square. Right, so in this position, white plays c3, and we have entered the London system with this unique position here, as you can see. And the point is, this structure affects the formation of the bishop, or where it can move to, as the bishop cannot really move to any of these squares here, or this square, unless it wants to exchange with this bishop. So the only squares that the bishop can really move to are these two. So this pawn structure controls where the bishop moves to, along with this e6 move. So early on from the beginning in the London system, black's bishops can't really develop very well. So c5, trying to open up the centre and creating a position for this bishop to move to, and also allows the development of the knight to c6 to further attack this centre and dark square. So white responds with knight to f3, attacking this dark square and defending the pawn on d4 from any pressure. And black reinforces the pressure with knight to c6. Now, knight b to d2, so linking knights with each other, so it's a strong knight connection. And now black offers a trade with bishop, so bishop to d6. Now the point is, you don't really want to exchange bishops, as the point is, as black castles over this side, both your bishops are going to be extremely strong around this diagonal. Your knights can cause threats on these squares, and your other knight can come into the action and cause a lot of damage to black's king side. So the point is, you don't really want to exchange your bishops, because in the London system for white, the bishop is extremely powerful. So from here, you want to ignore the trade, and the point is, you don't really want to move this bishop either, because the point is, if you move to this g5 square, you're simply going to lose tempo, as this pawn is going to kick the bishop away, and as the bishop retreats, you're going to get attacked by this g5 pawn, and then you'll have to move to g3. And the point is, you'll eventually trade off, and after all these moves, black has developed its pawn chain, attacks this bishop with both these knight and bishop, and the point is, you've only moved around one piece while black has actually developed tempo, and black will gain the advantage here. So the best move to actually play is, instead of moving it along this side, you should move it backwards, as the point is, if you move to g3, then if there's an exchange, as black knows in this position that your bishop is very strong, if they exchange, go for the capture on g3, then you're simply going to capture with this pawn here. The point is, you don't really want to capture with this pawn, as it does double up the pawns, but so does this move. But the point is, if you capture with the h pawn, it unlocks the h file for the rook, and this is very powerful for white. So even though you've lost your main piece here, the point is, as black castle, and the king is over to this square, then you're going to double attack this square with your bishop anyway, and the knight can be brought in. So this is extremely strong for white in the position. So going back, if black plays bishop to e7 rather than d6, then from here we can have h3 once again. So the point is, if the knight comes and attacks on this h5 square, you can simply retreat to this h2 square, and you'll keep a strong attack along this diagonal as the bishop. So after castles here from black, we play bishop to d3, and we have unlocked the perfect position of the London system in where you want to be. So let's analyse this. So after a move such as bishop to d6, if white tries to develop a bishop, if they push forwards with c4 for an example, then you've got these strong bishops along this diagonal. So if black plays another move such as bishop to d7, the point is you can castle, and from here you can see that white has castled the king, has a strong bishop controlling this area of the boards, alongside this area, along with the knight defending the square. Both the knight and bishop double attack this square, which is a very important central square, along with this knight and bishop, and this pawn attacking this e5 square. So from white in this position, the e5 and e4 squares are very controlled, and the point is white has a very strong pawn structure, as you can see here. So this is extremely powerful for white. Eventually you can develop the queen along this side of the board to b3, and then these rooks are connected, and this is very strong. And also, as you can see here, even though black's developed, so they've got a strong centre in this position, our attack along this king side is extremely powerful, as we can bring in the knight, bring in the other knight, and push forwards with the pawns, attack this knight. This is very strong, as the king side is under attack by these minor pieces from white. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.